In 1901, off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera, divers searching for sponge beds found an ancient shipwreck at a depth of 45 meters. Among the bronze statues and pottery, they recovered a corroded bronze mechanism that would change everything we thought we knew about ancient technology. X-rays revealed it contained 30 bronze gears, differential gears, and a mechanism that tracked the 19-year metonic cycle of the moon and sun. Carbon dating placed it at 100 BC. That is 1,500 years before the first known mechanical clocks appeared in Europe. Nothing like it would be built again until the 14th century. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, and it is far from the only example of technology that should not exist. The second impossible technology comes from Baghdad, Iraq, discovered in 1936 during construction of a railway. Workers uncovered what appeared to be a simple clay pot from the Parthian period, dated to 250 BC. Inside was a copper cylinder sealed with asphalt and an iron rod suspended in the center. When archaeologists recreated the device and filled it with vinegar or grape juice, it produced 1.1 volts of electricity. This is the Baghdad Battery. It predates Alessandro Volta's invention of the battery by 1,800 years. The Parthians may have used these for electroplating silver. Tests show that 10 of these batteries wired in series produce enough current to electroplate a thin layer of silver onto copper. No written records explain how they discovered this principle. No precursor technology exists. It appears fully formed in the archaeological record and then vanishes for almost 2,000 years. The third technology is hidden in plain sight at the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt. On the walls of the crypt, carved into stone, are reliefs dating to the Ptolemaic period, 305 BC. They show what appears to be a lotus flower with a snake inside, connected by a cord to a rectangular box. Egyptologists call this a symbolic representation of the sun god. But examine the details more carefully. The snake represents a filament. The lotus is a bulbous glass vessel. The cord connects to a box that looks like a generator. The shape is nearly identical to early Crookes tubes, the gas discharge tubes invented by Sir William Crookes in 1875. These tubes require high-voltage electricity to produce light. The Dendera reliefs are 2,180 years old. They depict a glass tube with electrodes, a power source, and a snake-shaped filament, essentially a light bulb in every structural detail. Mainstream archaeology dismisses this as coincidence. But the electrical engineering community has repeatedly pointed out that the proportions match perfectly. The fourth discovery was made in 1938 in the Bayan Karaula Mountains on the border between China and Tibet. Archaeologist Chi Puti found a series of caves filled with burial sites containing skeletons only 38 centimeters tall. Next to these skeletons were 716 stone discs, each 30 centimeters in diameter and 2 centimeters thick. Every disc had a spiral groove cut into it from the center to the outer edge. When analyzed, the spirals were found to be a form of writing. In 1962, Professor Tsumam Nui of the Beijing Academy decoded the discs. They tell the story of an alien spacecraft that crash-landed in the mountains 12,000 years ago. The beings inside could not repair their ship. They called themselves the Dropa. The discs are engraved with what appears to be a record of their failed attempt to leave. Radioactive isotopes found in the discs were measured at levels that could not be explained by natural background radiation. Of the original 716 discs, only 2 are known to still exist. The rest have disappeared from museums and archives. The fifth and most recent discovery came in 2015 in the Russian city of Vladivostok. A construction crew was digging for a housing project and found a piece of ancient volcanic rock that had formed millions of years ago. Embedded inside the rock was what appeared to be a metal gear. The gear measures 7 centimeters in length and has teeth that curve at a precise 20-degree angle, identical to modern industrial gear design. Geologists dated the surrounding rock to the Eocene period, approximately 40 million years old. This is before the first primates appeared on Earth. The aluminum-silicon alloy of the gear was tested and found to be 96% aluminum, 2% magnesium, and 2% trace elements. This composition is similar to modern aviation-grade aluminum alloys. Natural aluminum is virtually never found in its pure metallic state. It was not until 1825 that Hans Christian Ørsted first produced metallic aluminum in a laboratory. The Vladivostok gear has been studied at 7 independent laboratories, including the Russian Academy of Sciences. None could explain how a 40-million-year-old manufactured gear came to be embedded in volcanic rock. The object is now catalogued as artifact number 2015-12 at the Primorai Museum. It sits in a display case labeled Origin Unknown. Let us look at what connects these 5 discoveries. The Antikythera Mechanism shows that ancient Greeks understood differential gears and astronomical calculations 1,500 years ahead of schedule. The Baghdad Battery shows that someone in Mesopotamia understood electrochemistry and could generate DC current. The Dendera light bulbs suggest that electricity may have been known in ancient Egypt. The Dropa discs contain what appears to be an extraterrestrial record encoded in radioactive stone. The Vladivostok gear is a manufactured metal object embedded in rock that predates the human species by 39 million years. Each of these artifacts is dismissed by mainstream scientists as misinterpretation, coincidence, or outright fraud. But the evidence for each has been examined by independent researchers who found no evidence of forgery. The artifacts exist in museums, in private collections, and in scientific papers that have been peer-reviewed. The only logical conclusion is that our timeline of technological evolution is incomplete. Some technology existed in the ancient world that we have not yet explained. Whether it came from lost civilizations, extraterrestrial contact, or something we have not yet imagined, the evidence is carved in stone, cast in bronze, and buried in rock 40 million years old. What do you think is the most convincing piece of evidence that ancient civilizations were more advanced than we give them credit for? Comment below. Subscribe for more ancient mysteries and forbidden archaeology.